Good evening, everyone. I am back with another video. I wanted to share with you all my Juvia's Place collection. I know that I have shared my full palette collection, but I have accumulated a couple of more palettes since then, more so with my Juvia's Place collection. So I'm going to share that collection with you all today. I want to start off with the items that I can remember are newly purchased items, and then I'll go through the other things that I had previously. So I'm going to start off with the quads. I have two new quads. The first one is the Rebels Mint, and it's 4 shades. So there is a turquoise, silver, and then the bottom two are two different shades of mint. The next one is the grays, and like its name, there are 4 different shades of gray. So you get 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. The next one is the Vanessa and Juvia's Place collab. So with this one you get 2 shimmers and 4 mattes. And then I also purchased the I Love Ice palette, and you get 2 shimmers, a glitter, and 3 mattes in this one. And then I purchased the Serafina blush. And then the items that I already had. Well, I guess I should say let's go into the items that I already had. So I already owned 2 of the Rebel palettes. I had the Army palette and the Honey palette. And then we're going to move on to my mini palettes. I normally have them in order according to the shades, and the darker the shades or whatever. But now they're just everywhere. So this one is the Taupes. And I really haven't worn this one. I think I used this middle shade. But the other ones I'm still trying to figure out because they're so light, how I can use them. I also have the Mauves palette. As you can see, I've tapped into this bottom one a lot. The Sweet Pinks. Have I used this? This one looks like it's been used, and maybe this one. So the mini palettes are 6 shades, so you get a combination of shimmers and mattes in here. And this one is the berries. I'm not sure if I said that. The next one is the Nubian Royal. And this is how she looks. I know that I have used those 2 shimmer shades out of here. This is the Blushed Rose palette. I think I used it. Yeah, I used this one. And I have the Bronze Rustic palette. And I know I've used this one because I love all of the colors in here. The Nudes Palette. And this one is it's not as light as the Taupes. So you can kind of use these shimmers as toppers. And then I will use these, like this darker color right here, as a transition shade. The Chocolates, and I need a backup of it because you see I've almost hit pan on that one. The Nubian Glow palette, and I've used this one too. And the last mini palette is the Violets. So this is the Nubian. And this is my favorite neutral palette. I use some of these shades in here more than others. This champagne color right here, I normally put in my inner corner in my tear duct area. The Nubian 3 Coral. I have hair, I'm sorry, on me. So I've used this shade, this one, and this one. And maybe this shade. The other ones I haven't used yet. This is the Saharan. And I've kind of beat this palette up, so I may need a backup in this one too. I have the Nomad. So I purchased this because of this orange right here. This is a green shade. It looks gray for whatever reason. And this shade, those three colors are the reason why I purchased this palette. This is the Warrior. And this is all mattes. This is one of my favorite all matte palettes. I normally, you can kind of tell, I use this brown, the black, and this cranberry color right here. This is the Warrior. That was the Warrior 2. I'm sorry. This is the Warrior. And this was one of the first palettes I purchased because of the shimmers in here. And I've almost hit pan on this one. And this is the Warrior 3. I've used this shade the most. This is the Zulu Palette. And I like the design. Most of the palettes, I like them before I even open them and see the shade. I just like the packaging. And I've used this champagne color here out of this palette. So one of the things I like about Juvia's Place is that you can take a couple of their palettes and use different colors out of them. You don't have to be restricted to one palette. This is the Tried palette. And another one of my favorites. These two shades are pretty much what I use out of here. The Festival palette. I don't think I've used this one. Maybe just this shade right here. Which is that. I like champagne shades if you haven't figured it out by now. This one is the Masquerade Mini. And I think I've only used this shade. Oh no, this blue shade. Okay, so 4. This one, the blue, and this one. And some of the palettes have shade names and some of them don't. This is the Magic Mini, palette. I was actually watching, what is her name? Ask Whitney? No, not Ask Whitney. Truly Tracy. And she actually ended up buying a dupe for this palette. It had the same design on it and everything. I think she got it from Poshmark. So you got to be careful. Have I used this? Okay, there's the color name is Faso, but it looks like a periwinkle color. And I've used this lavender Bruno. I've used that. I think that's it out of here. Just those 3 shades. This is the Nubian 2 palette. And I think I've only used, yeah. Yep. This is a pretty, okay, so I got to pull this out and play with it a little bit more. Because I love this. Cleopatra is this shade name. And my last eyeshadow palette is the Wahala 2. And I have not used this yet at all. I can't believe it. But I'm going to. I am still hoping, wishing, and praying to get the Wahala palette. It's still out of stock. So when my birthday comes, if you think about getting me anything, that's the one I want. So I purchased the iSculpt Eyeshade palette, and this is what I normally use on my brows, with the exception of today. I have a previous video that's going to post where I used all e.l.f. products for today's look. I have both of the blush palettes. This is the Saharan 1 palette. And you can use these as eyeshadows too. And this is the Saharan 2. So normally when I'm going for those light, soft glam days or no makeup days, I'll use this palette right here because the shades are so soft. I did purchase the bronze palette. This is in the shade dark. And I normally mix the two and use them to bronze with. And you can use them as, they have a separate one that's a blush palette, but the colors they have one that's where the colors are kind of similar to this one. So I do sometimes use these as blush as well. I have the Tribe Highlighter Volume 2. I think they have a sale today on certain palettes that's 40% off. No, 40 or 50% off. I have two foundations. This is the shade Kampala, and this one is Nairobi. Kampala is $3.40 and Nairobi is $4.10. And then I purchased a stick foundation in the shade Mozambique. I have the eye primers in shades number 1 and 2. And I have 3 of their mini concealers in the shades 10, 11, and 14. I think that is all of my Juvia's Place. I think that's it. If you have any questions, comments about the products that are displayed in this video, please leave them down below. As always, thank you for watching my video. If you could like and subscribe, I hope that you enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.